Carolina Salguero here, looking toward the Statue of Liberty, up on top of the wheelhouse of the historic ship Mary A. Whalen. She's the flagship of the maritime nonprofit that I founded and run, PortSide New York. And we're located with these wakes coming in right here in Atlantic Basin, Red Hook. We're docked on Pier 11 with a very interesting array of boats. The gantry cranes at the Red Hook Container Terminal there, Lower Manhattan. And it's a lovely evening after a cool day where the temperatures and the humidity finally dropped. And I hope you're all well. So, we've started a few days ago live streaming this on a couple of platforms, Twitter and on YouTube and on our Facebook page. I'm still battling with Facebook and getting it to show me the live stream on my personal phone so I can answer comments there as I did for about 100 sunsets. So bear with me, folks. It hasn't come up on my phone yet. There's something about the Facebook algorithm. It's punishing me. That's what it's doing. So there you have it. Some glorious skies here to the west. Fireball. Southbound tug in the Buttermilk Channel, leaving one heck of a wake. We will probably feel that wake. And you can maybe hear the sound of an arriving New York City ferry here in Atlantic Basin. The tug. There stands the statue. And here comes the ferry. This is one of these no-names. Doesn't have its given name yet, so it's got the off the production line name of, looks like HB119. HB119 has been running around with that name for a while, actually. It's high time I got a real name. H-Please Hornblower, the company that runs these boats. 119, boat number 119. Back to the Fireball. That tug is leaving one heck of a wake. Look at it. You see the waves? Pattern up in there, diagonal, out to hit the Red Hook shore. Now let's go. Some sunset zen. It's a beautiful evening. Well, I see a kayak in the Buttermilk. About to align with the Statue of Liberty. See it? Northbound kayak, close to shore. Sun about to go down. ferry captain sounding the horn to indicate the boat's backing up. And there goes HB 119. And there goes the sun. Together. Ooh, backing out fast. I can't get it in the frame. There's your ferry. And there's the sun. Oops, sorry to get camera level tippy. I was looking at my other phone, to see if I could see the live stream on Facebook. Yep, Facebook is not doing me the favor of showing me that, so I can't comment or answer any comments if people are posting comments. So I'm going to spin away from where the sun just went down. I'm going to talk about how size does matter. So here's the Mary Whalen. You can't see all of her, but she's 172 feet long and held something like 8,013 barrels and bombing down the East River right now. Has much more up-to-date equipment. Huge. Once that ferry gets out of the way, you'll see what I mean. Ooh, low-flying seagull. Can I get him in time? Where did he go? Well, I didn't get him fast enough. So there goes a ferry leaving, and beyond that, there is a monster, and I mean monster, fuel barge. Those things carry hundreds of thousands of gallons, as opposed to 8,013. So that tells you something about American fuel consumption from 1938 till now. Now the harbor is definitely waking up tonight. There's a ship over there. Would have been coming down the Hudson River, probably from the Port of Albany. Those of you who are on Facebook, Jeff Rogers, if he's watching, is really pretty good about telling you which ship that is. Now I've got 3 helicopters in view and a bunch of eccentric clouds across the way. I think those qualify as eccentric clouds. What do you think? And then they continue over here. A few more eccentricities. Over to the World Trade Center. That's about it. There's not much color or cloud action beyond that. There we go. I finally have Sunset 109 visible to me on the other phone. Thank you. Jeff Rogers did report that was a ship Algoma Integrity southbound. Talking about eccentric clouds. Look at these little dark puffers over here over the edge of the warehouse. Having started the day so incredibly cloudy with just a mattress of gray clouds, it's amazing how much has changed in one day here. So there goes the big fuel barge and tug I was telling you about. That thing is massive. Unfortunately, we can't, without binoculars, tell you the name and the capacity of the barge because they don't carry transponders. So marinetraffic.com or ShipFinder, whatever app you use, will tell us about the tug, but not about the barge. Spin around to see what there is to see. There's the sound of another NYC ferry coming in. So we've got one special guest tonight, one of the local Sunset viewers, someone who we met through Facebook, who I didn't meet until tonight. He's down there visiting on the deck. Very socially distanced, all by yourself. And speaking of social distance, for those of you who are new to the Sunset, the reason we're doing this, the reason it came about was when New York City went into lockdown and people really, most of them couldn't get outside and didn't have a big long view. I thought that what I could offer, the amazing views we have from the Mary Whalen, is a way to help people be inside so we could flatten the curve. And it's just turned into a thing that many people appreciate, so I keep doing it. It's kind of soothing and beautiful, and it's helped me too. I had the coronavirus myself, a mild case of COVID-19. It did cause some heart trouble, so I couldn't exercise or exert myself physically at all for 6 weeks. And spending this time up here just focusing on the natural world and sharing it with all of you helped me too. So there it is. It's a form of mutual aid. And we all got to work together to defeat this virus. This ferry here is Spring Mallard. A lot more people on the boat. There were many months when there were 0 to 3 passengers on average getting off these boats. But it's good weather. It's Friday night. New York has begun reopening. A lot of people probably headed off to, there's one street in southern Red Hook that's closed to traffic with 2 great restaurants on it, Hometown Barbecue and Brooklyn Crab, and they attract a lot of people. For those of you who've been on Sunsets for a while, on deck is John Avery Stibe. He's the intern who raised over $3,000 for our fundraising campaign for the engine, and he wants to become a marine engineer. He's looking forward to the arrival of the engine to help take it apart into pieces so we can get those parts, those pieces, into this ship to restore ours. When he was here today wasn't an official work day, but he likes being here, and he showed up when it stopped raining and has been pottering around fixing things for an hour or two. He fixed the umbrella that the squall at around 1:30 in the morning damaged, and some other things. People biking through the parking lot. Here's our little pandemic pop-up park with 3 tables occupied. The white floaty thing in the corner is the duck chalet for when they're baby ducklings. And back to the west. Yes, Stephanie, I'm also glad he was able to fix it. Gentle color change low along the horizon. I can tell there's more harbor traffic. I'm hearing more wake sound up here in our corner. For many months there really wasn't much of that. No more boats moving. Can you hear the water? Biking down to the waterfront to see the skies. There was one roller skating person over there too. A little while ago. He's probably behind me. Oh, Stephanie, I'm glad to hear that you all can hear the water. It's a lovely sound. Though too much of that wake will pummel our little floating dock. speaking of that, for anyone who's around here, everybody should be paying attention to the hurricane coming up the coast. I've started to think about the hurricane preparation plans. I have a regular heavy weather plan, but now with that little pandemic park, there are plants, umbrellas, furniture. There are more kayaks around here than there were before. 4. Plus the ship's own dock lines. Anyway, whether you have a boat, and you have to worry about if you're ashore. If you're ashore and along the coast, please watch the weather, everybody. Please watch the weather. I'll never forget when I was running our Hurricane Sandy aid center, the recovery center, and people would come in, and they weren't mariners in the neighborhood, and they would say, well, they told us to evacuate for Irene. That was the hurricane the year before, and nothing happened, so we thought we'd be okay. That was heartbreaking for me to hear. At PortSide, we worked for 4.5 days to prepare for Sandy. Whoops. Sorry, I was trying to get hair blowing in my eye, out of my eye, and then I lost track of the horizon. So you might have noticed, those of you who are regulars, when I swung around to Atlantic Basin, that the shearwater, the white sailboat, is gone. That's the one that the engine was running a couple nights ago. It's now Pierre's worked on it and everything else. And she's back up and running, and it's left. She's probably over North Cove. I think she's gone back to work. Most of the other boats in the pier are not working yet. Right, Sue says we are in the cone of concern. We are in the cone of concern with that hurricane. The color is gently intensifying, and the clouds are still eccentric. There's some big squiggles there to the left of the Statue of Liberty. It's like some sort of calligraphy that went bad. Isn't it nice? Blend of color. Gentle, but nice. Then it gets subtle and just kind of blue over this way. And behind me, the moon. Getting fuller, but not there yet. That hideous penitentiary style light over there by the trolleys. There's the moon up there. And not much in the way of clouds or color off here to the south. Once we swing toward the harbor, well, things get better. Small propeller plane up there. In the orange. Alright, campers, I'm gonna sign off. So, I'm gonna tell you all to stay strong, Brooklyn strong. Do everything to protect yourself and everyone else from getting this awful virus. Please wear a mask when you're out in the world. And do all the social distancing. And wash your hands. And the goose has something to say. Here comes the goose, low flying. We're gonna finish with the goose. You can't see it, but you can hear it. Hop, taking off, going right through there. Goose with a lot of opinions. They generally have opinions, those geese. And it's landed. So, please be safe, wash your hands, and don't touch your face. And have a good evening. Good night.